What's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live on Sports Media. This is your Saturday Vibe edition. So, I wanted to talk about something pretty cut clear and everything, so we could get a general understanding of what's really going on. So, yesterday the Indiana Fever released. Well, yesterday the Indiana Fever pretty much made the announcement that Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham will return today against the New York Liberty. And be sure to tune in because I will be streaming that live with my co-host Nikki Malone as usual. Um, I will be going live at 2:45. Game starts at 3. Now there is a game before that on, I think, on CBS. That's the Sparks and the Lynx. But anyway, so with the news about Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham coming back to the Indiana Fever today, that begs the question of what is going to happen with Aari McDonald. Now, she was at Fever practice yesterday, practicing with the team and everything like that. But I had did a video post her release. And then sooner or later, right after the announcement of Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham, Stephanie White talked to the media about their return, and not too long after that, guess what? The news broke that Aari McDonald would been released. Now, Chloe Peterson for the Indy Star, her and Scott Agnes, they are the go-to for when it comes down to Indiana Fever stuff. She pretty much was, all last week, going back and forth with a couple of fans, trying to break down how the hardship contract worked, if there was anything about the hardship contract here and there, what scenarios could be played out. And a lot of people made videos on it. I didn't make a video. I did. I think I did. I think I don't. I don't remember. But anyway, so here's the deal. Here's the deal. Aari McDonald will have to wait 10 days. She'll have to wait 10 days to sign with the Fever. Now, that's only if another team doesn't come and offer, need her service. Looks like for right now, it doesn't seem that way. But the Indiana Fever will have to cut a player in to make room for Aari McDonald. Now, something I picked up yesterday from Stephanie White when she was talking about Aari McDonald, and you know, it's just, to me, I feel like she was saying, yeah, she's gonna get picked up or whatever the case may be. She's gonna get on another team, but we already know how the Indiana Fever roll. They're not gonna say much of nothing. They give you just a little. They beat around the bush. They give vague answers or to questions just so people want to know. Um, but maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe I'm overthinking it a little bit. But I feel like the way Stephanie White said it is like, I feel, not just me, but others have felt like maybe the Fever has some kind of deal in place with Eric McDonald, like a handshake. Say, hey, wait out 10 days, don't sign with nobody. We want you back with the team. Maybe Caitlin say, hey, I really want her on this team. I don't want her to go nowhere else. She feels like Ari could be what she needs for her. Now, we know that Kelsey Mitchell is supposed to be that, but Aari McDonald brings a whole different dimension. She could shoot, she could score, she could pass, she could play defense, and for her to be shorter, she's gonna be shorter than Kelsey Mitchell. That's a lot. So listen to Stephanie White, and then you draw your own conclusions.
With Caitlin and Sophie potentially coming back tomorrow, that means you'll have to release Aari. Just how has she impressed over these past few games? How do you hope she can find a spot somewhere?
She's going to find a spot. That's not that. I don't think that's a debate right now. You know, she's been the ultimate pro. She came in ready to go. You know, she had watched such a large amount of film just on her flight in here that you could tell already her high IQ. You know, she's a dog, and we're going to miss her certainly. What she brought to the table for us and being able to come in at the point guard position and just really impact us right away was huge. But yeah, she's not going to have a problem finding a job.
All right. So she said that Aari McDonald is not going to have a problem finding a job. They're going to miss her. But could they get Aari McDonald after 10 days? Will the Fever wait for 10 days? Because you got to think about it. Damaris Johnson is going for 4. We don't know how long the one Wanda is going to be gone. So that's going to put a lot of pressure on this team in the meantime. So with either Caitlin and Sophie coming back, pretty much Sophie is going to be playing the role of DB. Now you might see more of Bree Turner. A lot of people have been wanting Michaela Tipson. Now, here's the deal. Here's the deal. So the Indiana Fever can bring Aari McDonald back after a 10-day waiting period following her release, provided they have the roster spot and cap flexibility. However, her release was tied to the end of the hardship exception, meaning she now is an unrestricted free agent. The Fever would need to cut a player on an unprotected contract, such as such as Bree Turner and Sid Colston, to create space and hope McDonald doesn't sign elsewhere in the meantime. Here's more detailed breakdown. Hardship exception expiration. Aari McDonald was signed under hardship exception, which is temporary. Her contract ends when the Fever roster could reach 10 healthy players, likely the return of Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham. So we know that. Now, I did some other digging too, because I was looking into when the Fever can get the 12th player. They can't add a 12th player on this team until sometime in July. So I looked that up last night, and that's what it said. Not until July. Not until July. So that's a long wait from right now. But can the Fever wiggle some room? Can they convince Aari McDonald not to sign somewhere else? Can they convince Aari McDonald, say, hey, we want you here for what you brought to the team? You know why? Because this is what Aari McDonald brought. She was averaging 11 points, 3 assists a game, 2 steals, and 3 games off the bench for the Fever. She had that one game high 14. So she really added a lot just in 3 games. She averaged more than what Sid Colston averaged. She averaged more than what Bree and Sid together combined. Why wouldn't you want somebody like that on your team? Why not try to find a way? Why not just say, hey, don't go nowhere. Don't sign with nobody. We're going to bring you back. We just got to make some moves. Why not cut Bree Turner? Why not send Michaela Tipson overseas, stow her away until you're ready for her? Create room on a roster spot. Is the Fever looking towards adding that 12th player in July? Who can it add? To me, I feel like the no-brainer is once the after the 10 day contract, the 10-day waiting period is up, the Fever should say, hey, we bringing Aari McDonald back in. Bree Turner, Sid Colston, one of y'all, hey, good job. Thank you for your services. Boom, you gone. Because then there's still a lead room for the Fever to bring in that 12th player in July, where they don't have to really wait that long just to bring another person in. They could easily add another person. To me, I think Aari McDonald would be perfect off the bench. She adds more than what Sid does. She definitely brings a lot of heart, a lot of soul. She could be what Caitlin Clark needs to run with on offense. You know, get down in the paint, kick out, find the open shooters, play tough defense, steal, have better transition offense, more fast break points and everything like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Like I said before, they do have to wait 10 days because now that Caitlin and Sophie's back. But if Aari McDonald doesn't get signed by July, they could bring her in as the 12th player. But I don't think they're going to wait that long because Aari McDonald could be, say she wants to play. She already showcased that she could play. She already shows that she could contribute to any team. But she loves the style that the Indiana Fever play. So it fits her style. Dallas doesn't fit her style. Chicago doesn't fit her style. You know what I'm saying? They don't run enough. They don't move enough. She needs to flee. Her and Caitlin plays the same kind of style. Now, could she fit in Connecticut? Yeah, she could fit in Connecticut. I think she could fit in. Can she fit with the Valkyries? Yep, she could fit with the Valkyries. The Valkyries, they just brought in back Lachey. Leticia man brought her back, and then they just signed Ariel Powers, but they still need a guard. Can Aari McDonald be a service for the Golden State Valkyries? Yeah, I think they can. You know, they could bring her in, and they still could cut her, just like the Phoenix Mercury did with Haley. I think with Haley Jones. So we'll see how this all plays out. But a lot of fans are not liking it because we still got Bree Turner. But again, I'm going to see because Amber Cox, I'm just going to call you out as the GM of this team. You need to find a way to bring Aari McDonald back. Have a talk with her, whatever you need to do. Say, hey, wait 10 days. Do not sign with nobody else. We want you back. If Aari willing to wait 10 days to come back to the Fever, hey, it's a win-win. But if she goes and signs somewhere else, there is no guarantee that she's going to be available. Somebody might snatch her up and sign her for the rest of the season. So, but the Indiana Fever, they should have found a way. Once they knew Caitlin Clark was coming back and Sophie Cunningham, they should have cut Bree Turner or Sid Costa right then and there. They should not even waited 1 ounce a second to hesitate. I would have cut right then and there. You had technically, with the language of it, you did have 48 to 72 hours to make that cut. You would have to wait that period to sign Aari McDonald, but you didn't. So we'll see, guys. But to cap this video off, here's a couple of highlights of Miss Aari McDonald.
No doubt that in the next 2 seasons, she'll be knocking down the three.
Here's McDonald in transition, bodies Bantam and picks up the foul.
Fever had to make sure that the clock was right. Officials for today, Roy Gobian, Sierra Cruz, and Kevin Fahey. 10 on the shot clock. Aari McDonald in the game. The up and under on Tahina. Pow pow, and right away like lightning.
So, with that being said, hopefully we can get her back. Hopefully. But until then, we just have to wait and see. This is Live Watch Sports Media, your Sunday Vibe edition. You know what it is, because if you don't know, now you know. Be locked in today at 2:45. I will be streaming. Me and Nikki Manone will be streaming like we always do. Stay locked in, stay to the channel, and let's go. Fever, she's back. Caitlin, Sophie, let's ride.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment.